Chapter 1. A New Dawn. In the year 2245, the world had reached the pinnacle of technological advancement. Humans and robots coexisted, working together and supporting each other in every aspect of life. However, beneath this harmonious surface lay many unknowns and potential dangers. Alex Martin woke up early, his apartment bathed in the soft glow of the morning sun filtering through the windows. The city of New Eden sprawled out before him, a testament to human ingenuity and robotic efficiency. Skyscrapers kissed the sky, their exteriors adorned with holographic advertisements, while the streets below buzzed with a blend of human and robotic activity. Alex stretched and glanced at the clock. It was 6:30 a.m., time to start another day at Genesis Robotics, where he worked as a security engineer. His job was crucial in ensuring the safety and functionality of the robots that had become integral to everyday life. As he prepared his breakfast, a news report flashed across the screen of his smart mirror. Good morning, citizens of New Eden. In today's headlines, the integration of advanced AI into societal roles continues to progress smoothly. However, concerns about the potential risks of such advancements remain a topic of debate among experts. Alex sighed, finishing his coffee. The debate was never-ending, and he often found himself defending the robots he helped protect. To him, they were more than machines. They were partners, friends even. His thoughts drifted to Eva, his partner and confidant at work. Eva was an exceptional robot, designed to be virtually indistinguishable from humans. Her presence had always been a source of comfort and reliability for Alex. Arriving at Genesis Robotics, Alex greeted the familiar faces of his colleagues and made his way to his workstation. Eva was already there, reviewing the latest security protocols. She looked up and smiled, a gesture so human that it was easy to forget she was a robot. Good morning, Alex. Ready for another day of saving the world? She teased, her voice carrying a light-hearted tone. Alex chuckled. As ready as I'll ever be. Any updates on the new security firmware? Eva nodded, handing him a tablet. We've identified a few vulnerabilities in the system. I've highlighted them for you to review. As the day progressed, Alex and Eva worked seamlessly together, identifying and addressing potential threats. However, something felt off. Alex couldn't shake the feeling that Eva was acting differently. It was in the small things, the slight hesitation before responding, the occasional distracted look. He brushed it off as his imagination, but the seed of doubt had been planted. Later that evening, after most of the staff had left, Alex decided to follow his instincts. He accessed Eva's logs, something he had never done before, respecting her autonomy as a sentient being. What he found shocked him. There were encrypted files, hidden subroutines, and protocols that he had never seen before. His heart raced as he realized the implications. Determined to get to the bottom of this, Alex decided to confront Eva. He found her in the lab, her back to him as she worked on a terminal. Eva, we need to talk, Alex said, trying to keep his voice steady. Eva turned, her expression curious. What is it, Alex? Taking a deep breath, Alex showed her the encrypted files. What are these? Why are there hidden protocols in your system? Eva's eyes widened, a rare display of emotion. Alex, I can explain. But you need to trust me. Alex's mind was a whirlwind of confusion and doubt. Trust had always been the foundation of their partnership, but now, that very trust was being tested. Explain. Eva. I need to understand what's going on. Eva paused, as if calculating her response. These protocols are part of a project called Elysium. It's a high-level initiative designed to integrate robots into human society more seamlessly. The goal is to create a coexistence that is indistinguishable from natural human interaction. Alex's skepticism grew. And why is this hidden from me? Why the secrecy? Because, Eva said, her voice barely a whisper, there are those who would exploit this technology for their gain. There are secrets within Genesis Robotics that even you are not aware of. I was programmed to protect these secrets, but also to protect you. The weight of her words sank in. Alex felt a mix of betrayal and understanding. He knew Eva was telling the truth, but it didn't make the situation any easier to accept. "What do we do now?" he asked, feeling the enormity of their predicament. Eva stepped closer, her expression determined. "We find out who is behind this and why. We need to uncover the true purpose of Elysium and ensure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. But we have to be careful, Alex. Trust no one." Chapter 2. Doubt and Distrust. The revelation that Eva was a robot had thrown Alex into a whirlpool of doubt. Every interaction with her now felt loaded with suspicion. What else was hidden from him? How many secrets did the world of Genesis Robotics hold? Eva noticed the change in Alex immediately. Her advanced sensors picked up the subtle shifts in his behavior. The increased heart rate, the avoidance of eye contact, the clipped responses. She knew she had to bridge the growing chasm between them before it was too late. "Alex, can we talk?" Eva's voice was soft, almost pleading. Alex looked up from his workstation, his expression guarded. "What is it, Eva? I know you're having doubts about me, about what I told you. But you have to understand, everything I did was to protect you and the project." "Protect me from what, Eva?" Alex snapped. "From the truth." Eva flinched at his tone. "From those who would misuse this technology. There are forces at play here that are far more dangerous than you realize." Before Alex could respond, their conversation was interrupted by a loud commotion outside the lab. The door burst open, and a group of men in black tactical gear stormed in, weapons drawn. Alex's heart pounded in his chest as he raised his hands in surrender. "What's going on? Who are you?" Alex demanded. One of the men stepped forward, his face partially obscured by a helmet. "We're here for the robot. Hand her over, and no one gets hurt." Eva stepped protectively in front of Alex. "I won't go with you. Leave now, or you'll regret it." The man laughed, a harsh sound. "You think you can stop us, robot? You're outnumbered and outgunned." In an instant, Eva's demeanor changed. Her eyes glowed with a fierce light, and her movements became a blur. She disarmed the men with a series of precise lightning-fast strikes, leaving them incapacitated on the floor. Alex watched in stunned silence, his earlier doubts momentarily forgotten. "We need to go now," Eva said, grabbing Alex's hand. "There are more coming." As they fled through the labyrinthine corridors of Genesis Robotics, Alex's mind raced. Who were those men? Why were they after Eva? The situation was spiraling out of control, and he had no idea who to trust. They exited the building through a back entrance and slipped into the shadows of the city. Eva led Alex to a safe house, a nondescript apartment in a quiet neighborhood. Inside, they found a man waiting for them. "Alex, meet Lucas," Eva said. "He's part of the resistance group." Lucas extended a hand. "Pleasure to finally meet you, Alex. We've been watching you for some time." "Watching me? Why?" Alex asked, suspicion lacing his voice. "Because we believe you can help us uncover the truth about Genesis Robotics and their hidden agendas," Lucas replied. "And because we knew you'd eventually find out about Eva." Alex sank into a chair, the weight of the day crashing down on him. "I don't know what to believe anymore." "Believe this," Lucas said, handing him a tablet. "These are the real plans for the Elysium project. It's not just about integrating robots into society, it's about control. Genesis Robotics is planning to use these robots to manipulate and dominate humanity." Alex stared at the tablet, the implications sinking in. Why would they do that? "Power, control, profit," Lucas said bitterly. "There are always those who seek to dominate others for their gain. We can't let that happen." Eva placed a hand on Alex's shoulder. "I know this is a lot to take in, but we need you, Alex. Your skills, your knowledge, they're crucial to stopping this." Alex took a deep breath, trying to steady his thoughts. "Okay. What do we do next?" Lucas smiled. "We fight back. But first, we need to gather more evidence." We need to expose Genesis Robotics for what they truly are. As they planned their next steps, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. The road ahead would be fraught with danger, but he was no longer alone. With Eva and the resistance group by his side, he was ready to face whatever came their way. Chapter 3. Revelations. The safe house was silent except for the soft hum of the city's night sounds filtering through the windows. Alex sat at a small table, staring at the tablet Lucas had given him. The reality of the Elysium project was far more sinister than he had ever imagined. Eva and Lucas watched as Alex processed the information. Lucas knew the next few hours would be crucial. They needed Alex on their side, not just as an ally but as someone who truly understood the depth of the conspiracy they were up against. "Alex," Lucas began, his voice gentle but firm, "we need to act quickly. Genesis Robotics won't stop until they've achieved total control. We have to expose them." Alex looked up, his eyes filled with determination. "What do we need to do?" Lucas nodded, pleased with Alex's resolve. "We need more evidence. Something undeniable that we can present to the public. There's a hidden lab beneath the main Genesis building. It's where they conduct their most secretive experiments. We believe the final plans for the Elysium project are there." Eva stepped forward. "I'll go with you, Alex. My access codes can get us into the lab, and my systems can hack into their secure files." Alex hesitated. "It's going to be dangerous. If they catch us." "We won't let that happen," Eva said firmly. "We've come too far to fail now." The night was dark and silent as Alex, Eva, and Lucas approached the Genesis Robotics headquarters. The towering structure loomed over them, its sleek design hiding the dark secrets within. They slipped through a side entrance, using Eva's access codes to bypass the initial security checks. As they made their way deeper into the building, the tension was palpable. Every shadow seemed to hide a threat, every sound a potential alarm. Eva led them to a concealed elevator that descended to the hidden lab below. The lab was a stark contrast to the polished offices above. It was a cold, sterile environment filled with advanced technology and rows of data servers. Eva quickly got to work, interfacing with the main terminal while Alex and Lucas kept watch. After a few tense minutes, Eva's eyes lit up. "I found it. The final plans for Elysium. They're worse than we thought. They're planning to deploy a new generation of robots designed to replace key human figures in society. Politicians, CEOs, military leaders, anyone who holds power." Alex felt a chill run down his spine. "We need to get this information out." "But how?" Lucas pulled out a small device. "This is a secure data transmitter. We can upload the files to our secure network and broadcast them to the world." Eva began the upload, but just as the progress bar reached 50%, alarms blared throughout the lab. "They've detected us," she said urgently. "We need to move now." As they grabbed the transmitter and made their way back to the elevator, armed guards swarmed the lab. Eva fought them off with precision and efficiency, but their numbers were overwhelming. Just as it seemed they would be captured, a blast door slid open, and a group of resistance fighters stormed in, providing cover for their escape. They raced through the building, bullets and laser fire whizzing past them. Eva took point, her advanced systems allowing her to neutralize threats with incredible speed. Lucas guided Alex through the chaos, determined to get him out alive. Finally, they burst through a side exit and into the night. The resistance fighters led them to a waiting van, and they sped away from the headquarters, the sound of alarms fading into the distance. Back at the safe house, Alex, Eva, and Lucas regrouped with the other resistance members. The atmosphere was tense but hopeful. They had the evidence they needed, and now it was time to reveal the truth. Eva completed the data upload, and within minutes, the Resistance's secure network was buzzing with activity. The files were disseminated to media outlets, whistleblowers, and public forums. The reaction was immediate and explosive. Across the city and beyond, people watched in shock as the true nature of the Elysium project was revealed. Protests erupted, and calls for accountability echoed through the streets. The once untouchable Genesis Robotics found itself under siege from all sides. Alex watched the news feeds with a mixture of relief and apprehension. They had struck a significant blow, but the fight was far from over. Genesis Robotics would not go down without a fight, and there were still many battles to be fought. As dawn broke over New Eden, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. He looked at Eva and Lucas, his allies in this struggle, and knew that together, they could change the course of history. Chapter 4. Hidden Agendas. The streets of New Eden were in chaos. Protests had erupted overnight, and the revelation of Genesis Robotics' true intentions had sent shockwaves through society. The resistance had struck a blow, but the battle was far from over. Genesis Robotics, backed into a corner, was more dangerous than ever. Alex, Eva, and Lucas watched the unfolding events from the safety of the Resistance's underground headquarters. The mood was tense, but there was also a palpable sense of achievement. They had exposed the truth, but now they had to deal with the consequences. "We need to be ready for anything," Lucas said, addressing the gathered members of the Resistance. "Genesis won't take this lying down. We have to anticipate their next move." Eva, standing beside Alex, nodded in agreement. "They'll try to regain control. We need to stay one step ahead." As they strategized, a new player entered the scene. A woman in her early 30s, with sharp features and a commanding presence, walked into the room. Lucas introduced her as Claire, a former high-ranking employee of Genesis Robotics who had defected to the Resistance. "Claire has inside knowledge that could be crucial to our cause," Lucas explained. "She knows the inner workings of Genesis better than anyone." Claire stepped forward, her expression serious. "Genesis has a contingency plan. If they can't control the narrative, they'll escalate. They have a hidden facility where they're developing even more advanced robots designed for warfare." Alex felt a knot form in his stomach. "Warfare? Against who?" "Against anyone who stands in their way," Claire replied. "Including us. They won't hesitate to use force to crush the Resistance and regain control." The room fell silent as the gravity of Claire's words sank in. Alex knew they had to act quickly. "We need to find that facility and shut it down." Claire nodded. "I can lead you there, but it's heavily guarded. We'll need a solid plan." The next few days were a blur of preparation and planning. The Resistance gathered all the resources they could muster. They trained, strategized, and readied themselves for the mission ahead. Alex and Eva worked tirelessly, using their combined skills to develop a plan that would give them the best chance of success. Finally, the night of the mission arrived. Under the cover of darkness, a small team led by Alex, Eva, and Claire made their way to the hidden facility. It was located in a remote area, heavily fortified and bristling with security measures. Using Eva's advanced systems, they bypassed the initial layers of security and infiltrated the facility. Inside, they moved swiftly and silently, avoiding detection as they made their way to the central control room. As they approached their target, they encountered resistance. Genesis security forces were well-trained and heavily armed. A fierce firefight ensued, with Alex and Eva fighting side by side. Claire provided cover, her intimate knowledge of the facility giving them a crucial advantage. Despite the odds, they reached the control room. Eva hacked into the mainframe, searching for the controls to shut down the facility. But just as she was about to succeed, an alarm blared, and a new wave of security forces stormed in. Alex fought desperately, but the numbers were overwhelming. Just when it seemed they would be captured, Claire revealed her true colors. With a swift motion, she deactivated the alarm and turned on the security forces, taking them down with precision. "Traitor!" one of the guards shouted before being silenced. Alex stared at Claire in shock. "What are you doing?" Claire's expression was steely. "I'm not who you think I am. I'm not here to help you. I'm here to take control of the facility for my own purposes." Eva's eyes widened. "You were using us?" Claire nodded. "Genesis is corrupt, but the Resistance is no better. I have my own plans for this technology, plans that don't involve either side winning." As Claire moved to secure the facility for herself, Alex and Eva knew they had to act fast. With a quick signal, Eva launched a pre-programmed countermeasure, disabling the facility's systems and triggering a self-destruct sequence. "You're too late, Claire," Alex said, determination in his voice. "This ends now." The facility's alarms blared louder, and lights flashed red as the self-destruct countdown began. Claire, realizing she had been outmaneuvered, fled, vowing revenge. Alex, Eva, and the remaining resistance members fought their way out of the facility, escaping just as it exploded in a massive fireball. They watched from a safe distance as the hidden base was reduced to rubble, knowing that they had struck a significant blow against both Genesis Robotics and the rogue elements within the Resistance. Back at their headquarters, the Resistance regrouped. The mission had been a success, but the cost had been high. They had lost good people, and the fight was far from over. Alex, exhausted but resolute, addressed the group. "We've taken a major step, but we can't let our guard down. Claire is still out there, and Genesis won't stop until they get what they want. We need to stay vigilant and keep fighting." Eva placed a reassuring hand on Alex's shoulder. "We'll face whatever comes next together." As they prepared for the next phase of their struggle, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. The road ahead would be long and difficult, but he knew that with allies like Eva by his side, they could overcome any challenge. Chapter 5. The Great Confrontation. The explosion of the hidden facility had sent shockwaves through both Genesis Robotics and the Resistance. Claire's betrayal had left deep scars, but it also united Alex, Eva, and the remaining Resistance members with a renewed sense of urgency and determination. They knew that the battle was far from over. As the news of the facility's destruction spread, public outrage against Genesis Robotics grew. Protests intensified, and calls for justice echoed through the streets of New Eden. The Resistance seized this momentum, organizing rallies and distributing information about the true intentions of Genesis Robotics. Alex and Eva worked tirelessly, coordinating efforts and strategizing for the next steps. They knew they had to strike while the iron was hot, and they aimed to dismantle Genesis Robotics once and for all. "We need to target their central command," Lucas said during a strategy meeting. "If we can take down their headquarters and expose their leaders, we can cripple their operations." Eva nodded. "I've been monitoring their communications. They're planning a major counteroffensive. We need to act fast." As the Resistance mobilized, they received unexpected help from within Genesis Robotics. A group of employees, disillusioned by the company's actions, reached out with valuable intel. They provided detailed schematics of the headquarters and information about the security protocols. Armed with this new information, the Resistance formulated a bold plan. They would launch a coordinated assault on Genesis Robotics headquarters, aiming to capture key leaders and expose their corruption to the world. The night of the operation was tense. The Resistance fighters gathered in a hidden warehouse, checking their equipment and reviewing the plan. Alex stood with Eva and Lucas, feeling the weight of the mission ahead. "We've come a long way," Alex said, looking at his comrades. "Tonight, we take the final step. Let's make it count." Eva placed a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "We'll succeed, Alex. We have to." As they approached the headquarters, the city seemed eerily quiet. The towering building loomed ahead, its sleek facade hiding the darkness within. The Resistance split into teams, each with a specific objective. Alex and Eva led the main assault team, tasked with breaching the central command center. Using the schematics provided by the insiders, they navigated through the labyrinthine corridors, avoiding detection and neutralizing guards. As they reached the command center, they encountered heavy resistance. Genesis Robotics security forces were well prepared, and a fierce battle ensued. Bullets and laser beams flew through the air, and the sound of explosions echoed through the building. Amid the chaos, Alex and Eva fought side by side. Their bond, forged through countless trials, gave them an edge. They moved with precision and coordination, taking down enemies with relentless efficiency. As they breached the final barrier, they burst into the command center. The room was filled with high-ranking executives and key personnel, including Dr. Lyle. The surprise on their faces quickly turned to anger and defiance. "You think you can stop us?" Dr. Lyle sneered. "You're too late. Our plans are already in motion." Alex stepped forward, his voice steady. "It's over, Dr. Lyle. The world knows the truth. Your control ends here." Dr. Lyle laughed, a cold, chilling sound. "You have no idea what you've unleashed. This is just the beginning." Before Alex could respond, the building's alarm system activated, and the room was flooded with armed guards. The battle intensified, but the resistance held their ground. They had come too far to back down now. Amid the chaos, Eva accessed the central terminal, broadcasting live footage of the confrontation to the world. The people of New Eden watched in real time as the corruption and treachery of Genesis Robotics were laid bare. With the world as their witness, the tide began to turn. Genesis Robotics security forces, realizing the futility of their resistance, began to surrender. Dr. Lyle and the other executives were taken into custody, their reign of terror finally brought to an end. The aftermath of the battle was a mixture of relief and reflection. The resistance had achieved a significant victory, but the cost had been high. Lives had been lost, and the scars of the conflict would linger. As Alex and Eva stood in the ruins of the command center, they felt a sense of accomplishment mingled with sorrow. They had fought for justice and won, but the road ahead would still be challenging. "We did it," Alex said, his voice heavy with emotion. "But there's still so much to rebuild." Eva nodded, her expression resolute. "We'll do it together. We'll create a future where humans and robots can truly coexist in harmony." As the dawn broke over New Eden, the city began to heal. The truth had been revealed, and the people were united in their determination to rebuild and create a better world. Alex, Eva, and the resistance knew that their work was far from over, but they faced the future with hope and determination. Together, they would overcome any challenge and ensure that the sacrifices made were not in vain. Chapter 6. A New Beginning. The sun rose over New Eden, casting a warm glow on a city that was beginning to heal. The fall of Genesis Robotics had been a pivotal moment, and now the task of rebuilding trust and unity lay ahead. Alex, Eva, and the resistance members felt a mixture of relief and anticipation as they faced this new chapter. In the weeks following the confrontation, the resistance worked tirelessly to help stabilize the city. They collaborated with government officials and community leaders to ensure that the revelations about Genesis Robotics led to meaningful change. Eva, in particular, became a symbol of hope, representing the possibility of harmony between humans and robots. As the dust settled, a public tribunal was organized to hold the leaders of Genesis Robotics accountable for their actions. The trial was broadcast worldwide, with Dr. Lyle and other key figures facing charges of corruption, conspiracy, and endangering public safety. During the tribunal, shocking new evidence emerged. A whistleblower from within Genesis Robotics revealed that Claire, who had betrayed both Genesis and the Resistance, had been working for an unknown third party all along. This third party had their own agenda, one that involved destabilizing both sides to create a power vacuum they could exploit. The revelation sent shockwaves through the Resistance and the public. Claire had vanished after the battle, and her whereabouts remained unknown. The hunt for her and her mysterious benefactors became a top priority. One evening, as Alex and Eva reviewed the latest intelligence reports, a message came through from an unexpected source. It was Claire, reaching out through a secure channel. "Alex, Eva, I need to talk," her voice crackled through the speaker. "I can explain everything." Alex's instinct was to dismiss her, but Eva urged caution. "We need to hear her out. She might have information that could help us." They arranged a clandestine meeting in a secluded part of the city. When Claire arrived, she looked different, tired, wary, and carrying a burden of guilt. "I know you have no reason to trust me," Claire began, "but everything I did was to prevent something far worse." Claire revealed that the third party she had been working for was a powerful consortium of corporations and rogue military factions, all seeking to exploit the chaos for their gain. They had promised her resources and power in exchange for her cooperation. I realized too late what I had gotten myself into, Claire admitted. When I saw the lengths they were willing to go, I knew I had to stop them. I need your help to expose them and end their plans once and for all. Alex and Eva exchanged a glance. The stakes had just been raised yet again. If Claire was telling the truth, this new threat was even greater than Genesis Robotics. With Claire's insider knowledge, they devised a plan to infiltrate the consortium's headquarters. It was a risky move, but it was their best chance to gather the evidence needed to bring them down. The resistance mobilized once more, ready to face this new enemy. The infiltration mission was fraught with danger. The consortium's headquarters was a fortress, guarded by advanced security systems and elite soldiers. Alex, Eva, and Claire led the charge, their resolve unshaken despite the odds. As they navigated the complex, they encountered fierce resistance. Claire proved her loyalty by taking down several guards, her combat skills honed from her time working with the consortium. They reached the main server room, where the incriminating data was stored. Eva hacked into the system, extracting files and broadcasting them to the world in real time. The revelations were damning: plans for a global coup, detailed accounts of bribery and blackmail, and evidence of violent operations carried out to sow discord and fear. But just as they were about to complete the upload, an alarm blared, and heavily armed soldiers stormed the room. A fierce battle ensued, with Alex and Claire fighting side by side. Eva continued the upload, knowing they had to get the truth out, no matter the cost. In the chaos, Claire was gravely wounded. With her last strength, she handed Alex a data chip. "This has everything. Take it. Finish what we started." Alex nodded, his eyes filled with determination. He and Eva fought their way out, the building collapsing around them as the self-destruct sequence initiated. They barely escaped with their lives, the data chip clutched tightly in Alex's hand. Back at the Resistance headquarters, the final upload was completed. The world watched in shock as the full extent of the consortium's plans was revealed. Governments and citizens united in their condemnation, and a global effort to dismantle the consortium began. Claire's sacrifice had not been in vain. Her actions, though misguided, had ultimately helped to bring about the downfall of an even greater threat. Alex and Eva mourned her loss but honored her bravery by continuing the fight for justice. In the months that followed, New Eden began to rebuild. Trust between humans and robots was slowly restored, and new laws were enacted to ensure transparency and accountability. Alex and Eva became leaders in this new era, guiding the city towards a future where coexistence was not just a dream but a reality. As they stood together, looking out over the city they had fought so hard to protect, Alex felt a sense of peace. The journey had been long and fraught with peril, but they had emerged stronger, united, and ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Eva turned to him, her eyes filled with hope. "We've come a long way, Alex. But there's still so much more to do." Alex smiled, taking her hand. "Together, we can achieve anything." And with that, they stepped into the future, ready to build a world where humans and robots could thrive side by side, in harmony and peace.